So this morning we're just going to make some very simple melt and pour soap. We're going to make a batch for a school fete that they're having. So firstly we need to take the melt and pour base. This is a 1 kilo block, which you'll split into 2 halves, but we'll cut it into pieces. You can melt it any way you like, however probably the easiest way is in the microwave. So we're just going to put blocks of it into a container and pop those in the microwave. Now you can add your colours and fragrances later if you want to, but I find it a little bit easier to add it at the beginning. So I'm going to mix everything into these takeaway food containers, melt it all down at once, and then use it that way. So I'm going to make 3 different fragrances here. We'll do one at a time. I've got lemongrass, Pina Colada, and a rose geranium with pink clay, which is a little bit more of a specialty one. So we'll start with the lemongrass. That's a little bit easier. It's got some soap in there that's a sort of bluey green colour that we've had once before. That's okay. We'll just melt down on top of that. So I'm going to add a little bit of the lemongrass fragrant oils. You'll probably have yours in the 10ml bottles. I go through a lot of it, so I'm using a litre. And usually you'd be looking at 3 to 5%, although I just tend to pour it in. And I've decided that I'd like to have this one green, so a few drops of the pigment dye. If you don't get enough, you can always add more later, so adding more is not a problem compared to taking it away. And then, as mentioned, we're just going to melt it in the microwave. And that can melt for 3 minutes, and while that's happening we can mix up the other ones also. So one of these is to be a rose geranium. I'm using pure rose geranium essential oils, and I want it to be quite a heavy scent because this isn't going to be used for a couple of weeks, so I'm adding a little bit more than I usually would. And a little bit of the pink dye. It looks red, but it will come out pink when we're finished. And to make it really, really special, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of French Aguilette's clay. And that will melt through the soap, and when you use it, it'll be a very nice skin refining soap, so it will make your skin feel really clean and soft. Then the third batch that I'm making is going to be Pina Colada. So I use some of the Pina Colada fragrant oil. Oh, it smells great. And I think I'll use this yellow pigment. Okay, now all that's left is to melt those down, stir them through. If you're not happy with the colour, you can add a little bit more. Always go a little bit light, because if you want to add more, that's easy, but you won't be able to take it away if you've made it too dark. So let's see how they melt down. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.